The year is 325 AD. A heated controversy has erupted in the churches of Alexandria over the deity of Jesus Christ. This theological storm sets the stage for the famous Council of Nicaea.
Soon, we will hold the Council of Nicaea to unite our faith.
Our story begins with two key figures, Alexander, the Bishop of Alexandria, and Arius, a local priest.
Arius, born around 250 in Libya, was a man of striking presence, tall, thin, and marked by his ascetic lifestyle. Educated by Lucian of Antioch, he was ordained as a deacon by Peter, the Bishop of Alexandria. But things took a turn when Arius' teachings were deemed heretical, leading to his excommunication in 300.
Fast forward 6 years. The persecution of Christians under Emperor Diocletian rages on, forcing Bishop Peter into hiding. Seizing the moment, a rival bishop named Malicious reinstates Arius and others opposed to Peter's leniency towards Christians who lapsed under persecution.
When Peter returns in 311, he's swiftly executed under Emperor Maximian's orders. The bishopric passes to Achilles, and upon his death in 313, Alexander ascends as Bishop of Alexandria, bypassing Arius. This snub plants the seeds of rivalry between the two.
One fateful day, Alexander attempts to explain the unity of the Holy Trinity to Alexandria's elders and clergy. Arius, sitting among the listeners, senses heresy, a flavor of Sabellianism, which asserts that God is one person manifesting in three modes.
Arius couldn't stay silent. He declares, if the Father begot the Son, the begotten one had a beginning to his existence. There was a time when the Son was not. Therefore, the Son's essence came from nothing.
This statement, as historian Socrates notes, is the spark that ignites a theological blaze. Alexander quickly recognizes the spread of Arius' teachings and, between 317 and 318, convenes a local council to condemn and excommunicate Arius and his followers.
Alexander doesn't stop there. He pens a letter to bishops across various cities, warning them about Arius' doctrine. He labels Arians as anti-Christian, apostates, and forerunners of the Antichrist, a stark condemnation meant to isolate Arius and his adherents.
Enter Eusebius, the Bishop of Nicomedia. With Emperor Constantine residing in his city, Eusebius wields significant influence. He petitions the emperor to reinstate Arius, setting the stage for a broader conflict.
Letters fly back and forth as Alexander and Arius rally support from other church leaders. The schism between the Alexandrian and Arian factions deepens, creating a rift that reverberates across the Christian world.
Imagine the grief of Emperor Constantine, caught in the midst of this ecclesiastical turmoil.
This is a tragedy.
32 years before Constantine became the Emperor of Rome, the Emperor Diocletian established a tetrarchy, a four-person leadership to govern the vast Roman Empire. Along with this, he initiated an empire-wide persecution of Christians who refused to sacrifice to the emperor, which included most Jews and Christians.
By 306, when Constantine rose to power, the tetrarchy had crumbled into a rivalry of multiple military factions. In 312, at the Battle of Milvian Bridge, Constantine and his army emerged victorious. He credited this win to the Christian God and converted to Christianity.
Leo Davis notes, today, most would admit that Constantine was sincere about his rather confused faith in the Christian God at the time of his victory at the Milvian Bridge, and gradually grew in the knowledge of his new faith, always believing that a common orthodox faith was necessary for the preservation of a unified empire.
With Constantine's conversion, the era of Christian persecution ended. But peace brought its own challenges, as Christians now had to navigate their faith in this new, tolerant environment. It was during this time that the trouble in Alexandria erupted and began to spread.
Constantine, aware of the disunity in Alexandria and its spread to the Eastern churches, knew that religious discord could threaten political stability. In 324, he penned a letter to both Alexander and Arius, delivered by Hosius of Cordova, a trusted advisor.
Constantine's aim was clear, which was to maintain the unity of both the empire and the church. Rather than choosing a theological side, he chastised Alexander and Arius for publicizing their disagreement, urging them to bury it in silence. He downplayed their theological dispute as unimportant, no new heresy, and very insignificant.
Though later church history would disagree with Constantine's characterization of the debate over the deity of the Son of God, the public nature of the dispute was an embarrassment. Constantine encouraged Alexander and Arius to reconcile, become friends, and restore unity among their followers.
While Constantine's call for unity was admirable, the theological rift was too deep. Understanding who Jesus is was crucial for believers. The divine mysteries of the Trinity were and still are a vital discussion for Jesus' followers.
Church leaders had faced heretical challenges before and would continue to do so. Constantine's epistle rightly highlighted the need for Christians to disagree in a manner aligned with the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control, as in Galatians 5 verses 22 to 23.
By the time Constantine wrote his epistle, the tone of the debate had strayed far from these virtues. Personal attacks, or ad hominem arguments, had overshadowed the theological issues. The letters exchanged were deepening the divide rather than resolving it.
This escalating conflict prompted Constantine to call for a general council of church leaders from all over Christendom. The goal was to formally address and resolve the divisions, leading to the convening of the Council of Nicaea in 325.
And that's where our next story begins, the historic Council of Nicaea, which we'll explore in the next episode.
Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like and share, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future videos.